Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup. You see we're in the more scuffed setup today, so turn up the volume because the mic is way down here and not like way closer to my face. So down in the description you're going to see 3 different links: Twitter, YouTube memberships, and Discord. Twitter, follow me there, pretty self-explanatory. Discord, join us with BS about the games as they go on. Just a nice place to talk about League. There is some regional bias that's a bit gross, but I'm sure eventually we'll work out the negative parties and make the chat better. In YouTube memberships, $3 supports me, $10 supports me, but you also get extra content. So the $3 tier, you get a little badge in the comment section, and I appreciate you for helping me out. $10, you end up getting extra content. Like after this video is done, you're going to get a members only video where I go over my predictions for who wins tomorrow. I do my LOL predictions for members only and my NFL content for members only. So if that interests you, that's at the $10 tier. Now for the games today, Worlds Play-ins Day 3, right? Loud and Fnatic start us off. Loud come out victorious. I had Loud losing this one. I think everybody and their mother had Loud losing this one, except those that were from Brazil that were really diehards, and I'm happy for them that they end up getting a win. I really think it's pretty awesome that they were able to upset the LAC squad in Fnatic. If I'm Fnatic, I am concerned. Robo went 6-1-4, 30% of Loud's damage. Brance 8-1-7 at 80 carry. For Fnatic, upset 302, 32% of the team's damage on Caitlyn. KDA player, typical KDA player. Humanoid 1-3-1 in mid on Nakali. I believe Robo was on an Aatrox. I can't recall what Brance's champion was exactly. But the point is, this was a big upset. This was massive. Nobody expected this. And Fnatic looked awful. Wonder picked Fiora into Robo. And I mean, Robo is not like super talented. I mean, he's very good for, minor region top laners as far as that's concerned, but Wonder really disrespected him with the Fiora pick, and Fnatic got punished for it pretty much in the end. I mean, I am shocked by this like everybody else is. Hopefully Loud can follow it up tomorrow with a win over Chief, which we'll get into later in this video. Excuse me, Mad Lions and Saigon Buffalo. I had Saigon Buffalo winning this one, so I went 0-2 to start the day. Niski, 5-2-13, 28% of Mad Lions damage, possibly on a Swain. I'm not sure. Elyoya, 8-4-11 in the jungle. Shogun, 3-1-5, 32% of Saigon Buffalo's damage. Hosmid, 4-3-1 in top lane. So what do we think about this? Well, I remember when the draft happened, Mad Lions triple banned Shogun. So they forced Shogun onto his 4th best AD carry, which was MF. And I really don't like Shogun's MF that much. I think he definitely can't play as aggressively as one would like on the champion, especially his style. So if Mad Lions have to invest that much into him, it is interesting to think about, because I expect this to be the matchup in the 3-4 slot in Group B. Best of 5 this week that ends up going on to play EG or Fnatic or whoever is the 2nd seed in Group A, right? As far as Mad Lions is concerned, they've knocked Unforgiven down to Seraphine territory. I don't see Unforgiven getting as much heat about it as Danny did when Danny got stuck on Seraphine, but I guess people pick their poison based on regional bias, and they will just trash other regions and not their own. Their insecurities and whatever. So Mad ended up taking this. They put Unforgiven on Seraphine. He played very well. Niski played very well. Elyoya carried. And they got the win, which was big. I didn't expect that. DFM and Beyond, I had DFM winning this one. I'm not surprised. DFM won last year against them, if you missed my roundup yesterday. Yaharung, 6-5-13, 31% of Detonation Focus means damage. Utapon, 12-3-11 on Kesa. Wako, 5-5-11, 42% of Beyond Gaming's damage. Minji, 8-4-6. Beyond Gaming end up playing again, so I'm not going to get too in-depth with them, but DFM, showed up in a big way. Evie played a Lilia top lane in the early game, struggled, but then turned it around and was very impactful, which was an interesting pick out of Evie. We've seen it before. This was a pick that I had highlighted coming into this event during my top laner rankings. But DFM, took care of business against the 2 seed from the PCS. Udapon, his Kesa in this one was very aggressive, and he played very well. I felt like Yaharung, like I said, did well also. I believe he was on a Silas. All around, DFM just beat Beyond Gaming, and we're going to get into BYG later on. This is like, I figured this was going to happen. I think I actually predicted this to happen. Them going 1-1, so we'll get into that in a minute. EG and Chief, EG win easily. Jojo Pume 5-3-12, 30% of the team's damage on his birthday. Inspired 5-1-9 at jungle on a Hecarim, put him on a carry, and he carries. Tally 2-5-3, 35% of Chief's damage. Tally is not in a good spot. Topun 2-1-0 in top lane on a Vladimir. Played Vlad into Gnar or Aatrox for... No. Impact played Gangplank today. So, EG take care of business. Tomorrow they play DFM, which will be a tougher task, which we'll get into. But, took care of business. Chief have a lot of problems. They, right now, are definitely in that bottom 3 tier with IW and Isurus at this tournament, which was unexpected given how well they did in best of ones domestically, but none of them are showing up. Arthur really didn't show up today. It's just a bad tournament all around for them. RNG and Isurus. Teemo top for ADD in this one. So Gala 8-1-13, 25% of RNG's damage. Ming 7-1-17 on a set. ADD 1-9-3 on a Teemo with a team leading 28% of damage for Isurus. Saya 1-4-1 on a Scion mid. So Isurus tries to pull out the stops, pull out some cheese, and hope for the best. It was a Hail Mary, and the Hail Mary failed. Some people think it was wrong to do it, and I think there is a debate to be had there. I know I encourage teams to get out of the box and get chaotic, but at the same time, I do believe that there is a limit. And I mean, I don't really look at it like they took it as a joke. I just think really it was their Hail Mary. And RNG just smacked the crap out of them. So, I mean, this was not a surprise. Chief and Beyond Gaming. Wako 3-1-3, 37% of Beyond Gaming's damage. Minji 6-0-5 in mid. Minji, once again, playing a great game. Played a great game against DFM in a loss. He's definitely been their best performer in this Worlds tournament. I would definitely take note of that. I believe he's a very young player. I don't believe he's been around the block. So if he's 18, 19 years old, we may be seeing future PCS mid laner that's at these events often, going forward. Tally 0-1-1, 28% of Chiefs damage in the loss. Reyes 1-1-1. Tally just tried not to int after going 2-5-3. He has had a terrible tournament. Chief has had a terrible tournament. Arthur, the last couple days did well. Today, non-existent. Just all around, Chief are outclassed. They are outclassed, and it's disappointing. It is. Tomorrow they play Loud, and I guess we'll get into that, like I said, but it's just it's rough because Beyond Gaming beat them pretty badly. It sucks really. RNG in Istanbul. RNG win this one. Xiaohu 9-2-10, 31% of RNG's damage on a Silas mid. Gala 6-1-11 at 80 carry. Saren 3-2-5, 34% of Istanbul's damage. Starscream 5-5-1 on a Garen. This is the second time he's pulled out Garen against RNG this year. He pulled it out at MSI as well with a loss. His KDA was better in this one than that one. But outside of those events, we haven't seen a Garen since Worlds 2019. And I'm actually curious when the last time we saw Garen in one of the major regions, one of the Worlds regions, even. That was a regular split game, to be honest with you. So RNG take care of business. I mean, they I mean, I think they ran up the score on this one. Like, I forget which game it was. It was like 33-6, but it's just a win. Stars. I do believe they fought back though at one point. There was a moment where IW actually had a kill lead. They did. They did have a kill lead. Saren played very well in a fight, I believe. Breathe was trading kills with him. Might have been what happened. These games are mixing together, but at the same time, I mean, I think RNG were just kind of like, geez, we just played a Teemo top and won like 33-6, and now we're playing a guy that's playing Garen top. What the hell is this? So, glorified scrims. Isurus and DRX. DRX crush Isurus. Zeka 7-1-4. Deft 5-1-10. ADD 3-3-2. Maokai top. And Gravato 2-4-3 for Isurus. Damage numbers are not out yet when I'm filming this, so this is what you get for that one. DRX just taking care of business. I mean, there's not really a lot to say about these three games. We said it yesterday. There wasn't going to be much here. And the fact that Loud upset Fnatic is a big deal, but it is another animal for a minor region team to upset one of the Eastern teams compared to a Western team. So, I mean, ADD did almost solo kill Kingen at one point. Like, he played well on the Maokai, but Maokai is absolutely cracked right now and broken. So, for him to pull it out and almost win is a thing, but at the same time, Kingen isn't great. So, I mean, I guess that's a small takeaway for Isurus against DRX tomorrow. Well, we'll get into that in a minute. So, excuse me, that's it for the roundup for today. Now on to the sneak peek for the second half of the video. Okay, now for the sneak peek for tomorrow, we have Beyond Gaming and Fnatic starting us off. Fnatic coming off of that loss against Loud. They cannot take Beyond Gaming lightly. They've never played before. Minji versus Humanoid is what I want to watch. Minji is doing it for Beyond Gaming. Humanoid did not look great yesterday. He did not carry on the Akali. It was his first struggle of play-ins. This one's something to note. I really do think that Fnatic, they cannot take this game lightly. They really can't. Probably, well, there are a couple close games. There are a couple good games on here. I guess I won't say it's one of the closer ones of the day because it's not. But it is one where Fnatic cannot overlook Minji. Ban the Silas and then go from there pretty much because Minji's Silas is better than Humanoid's. Loud versus Chief. Never have played before. Brance versus Reyes. What was I want to watch? I didn't want to do Robo again because yesterday I did Robo versus Wonder. So Brance versus Reyes. Reyes has been very lackluster in this tournament. Frankly, non-existent, if not bad. Aladoric, not great. Tally has been awful. Topoon's been like that weak side top laner. So is he really hurting them? I don't think so, but he's not helping them either. And then you have Arthur just doing what he can, but Brance right now has been having a very good tournament so far. The future in bot lane for Brazil, I would not be shocked if you see a region like the LCS try and push to get him. A young player with that kind of charisma and skill at this international event may be worth a look for a major region team, right? So with that in mind, that one's, I think, Chiefs got their work cut out for them. DFM and EG, never have played before. They didn't play at MSI. They were in different groups. Yaharung and Jojo Pune is what I want to watch. Yaharung's been leading DFM in damage for a few games now. And Jojo Pune's been impactful. Jojo and Inspired are doing the work. Kaori is kind of just there. The sub bot laner, I believe EG definitely are at like peak right now. So that is a thing. And that's not to say that's a good thing. That's just the facts. I think that they're kind of at peak right now. So, you know, I think that if this matchup between Yaharung and Jojo, I think if this goes whichever way, that team's going to win. And that's kind of it, right? IW and Isurus, definitely the most fun game of the day, right? Two teams with nothing to play for. Never have played against each other, despite both orgs being around for a long time. Farfetch versus ADD is what we're going to watch. What kind of crazy picks are going to occur in top lane? Farfetch pulls out the Garen today. ADD pulls out the Teemo. He pulled out a Maokai. He's pulled out a Zillion top. So we'll look at that matchup, I guess, as the fun matchup. Otherwise, this is just regional pride. And honestly, it's going to factor into my algorithm for next year, right? For my minor regions that I can't watch. DRX and Mad Lions, never have they played before. Jungler versus Elyoya. So what does this mean? Well, Elyoya is clearly the jungler for Mad Lions, and I don't know who's going to play tomorrow for DRX. Is it going to be Juhan? Is it going to be Pioshik? No idea. So Elyoya has been doing a lot of the work for Mad Lions. Unforgiven, like we said, on the Seraphine now. So they've taken him out. You can't rely on Armut. Niski is not a carry-oriented player, so that means Elyoya has to do it. And it's going to be up to the DRX jungler to not have that happen, you know, whether it's Pioshik or Juhan. RNG and Saigon Buffalo, the only matchup that we've seen before. We saw it at MSI twice in Rumble stage, RNG winning both. Zhao, who went 4-1 and 5 the first time, and that was a very close game. That was like 12-7 in kills. Saigon Buffalo are no slouch. The second time RNG won, Wei went 7-3 and 8, and Saigon Buffalo actually threw that game. They had more kills, 25-19. So the fact of the matter is, I think that game's actually going to be interesting to watch. Saigon Buffalo are what? They've lost to DRX. Oh. Doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Darn it. Darn it. Because they lost to Mad Lions. If they'd beaten Mad Lions, this would matter. This is a glorified scrim now. Maybe it gets somebody side prio selection in the best of 5 for Saigon Buffalo, so I guess they have something to play for. Otherwise, Ming versus Taki is what I want to watch. So Gala and Shogun obviously is the matchup, but I wanted to change it up. So we're going with Ming and Taki. Is Ming going to outsmart Taki in bot lane? Is it going to make things happen after playing a great set game today? And I think he played a Moo in the second one where he did very well. So Ming feeling himself. Taki, very aggressive, young bot laner, makes mistakes. But at the same time, will catch you out if you leave yourself open to be caught out, right? So that one will be fun. But that's it for my roundup for today. Like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube member, so you get the video that's going to come out after this one, where this board is going to look slightly different and I go over my predictions. So thank you for watching, and I hope you come back for more content.